So, you're at home alone with your kids. Oh, thank a teacher. I know. I've seen some wonderful posts about people going to, as soon as the kids go back to school, they're going to buy their teacher a Starbucks gift card for every day of their life to thank them for being there for them. But that doesn't solve your problem right now. Okay, coronavirus has made us all stay at home. I'm at home, so I might as well help you get through your day. I have put together some ideas for you to make your kids more creative thinkers. And you do that through the arts, you do that through dance, through music, through writing, and you are going to not answer any questions for them. You are going to question them and let them do these activities. Now, if you go to my website, kimhowzabbia.com, go under Think Tank. In that section, you'll get to see all these notes again, and you can print them out and do them over and over again. But let's go on and get started. You don't have much time to watch this video. So let's take one concept a day. All right, the first one we're going to work on is shape. Shape is super, super easy. Okay, the first thing you do is you have your child pick a shape. Now, if it's a young kid, you could go circles, squares, rectangles, ovals. I mean, my God, they're everywhere. I mean, Tupperware tops, tape measures. Anyway, they're picking the actual shape. They're not asking you to find anything yet, just picking the shape. They may go ovals, triangles. For the older kids, you can push them to go hexagon, pentagon, octagon, everything bizarre that you can Google, obtuse triangles, any of those things if you'd like to push them into second steps. Okay, then after they've picked their shape, that becomes them, their shape. So if you think in terms of using their movements to it, think of dance. Tell them to move their body to look like the shape that they've chosen. So say they've chosen a shape that's a circle. They have to make their body into a circular shape in a variety of ways. I mean, and there's no wrong answers here, okay? So that's fine. The other thing is you can ask them to be very creative. How do you think this shape would move if it were alive? Now you can have them cut out the shape out of a piece of paper and then figure out how to make it move. If it were alive, what would it do? And there are no wrong answers, Mom, so don't correct them or any of this. All right, think in terms of music. Now, this may be a little stretch, but you can say, how do you think this shape sounds? What kind of sound does it make? Is there something that it'd be different from a circular sound to a square sound? Then put on some music. Go to your Pandora, just click on instrumental music and play the instrumental music and say, when do you hear something that might sound circular? Like, do the notes go up and then you gradually come down? Or are they choppy, like a shape if they chose a rectangle? Then ask yourself, okay, think in terms of instruments. Which instruments look like your shape? Think about it. The trumpet looks like a triangle. The French horn, of course, is circular. I mean, there's so many possibilities. Look at the tuba. Good grief, that sucker's got a big circle at the top. All right, so then, now this is your stretch. Ask them if they can sing or hum and what they think their shape would sing or hum. Now, of course, there are no wrong answers. All right, go on to writing. This is where you can push them to really be creative. After all my years teaching English, I was thinking of all the creative writing things that I would have them do. One of which is to take that shape and, if it could talk, what's its story? So they could draw the story, they could actually illustrate the story, or they could just list what is its story. You know, just write down something. You don't have to grade it, just have them do this and put it in the shape section. Or they could write and describe the shape as if it were from, say, outer space. And in that sense, they could think of what would that shape be if it were from outer space. Or they could list all the things they could think of in their head that has that same shape. That's easy enough. That's for little kids. If they can't write, you can ask them to tell you, and you can write it down. All right, let's get to art. Okay, visual art. We're trying to increase their visual creative thinking. And remember, I know I'm going through these quickly, but you can always go to kimhowzabbia.com and go to the think tank section and print this out so you can have it. And there'll be a different one there every day. All right, you can send them outside if you want to send them outside for anything that looks like your shape. And they collect those shapes and bring them inside. Now, probably the most common shape in nature is probably the triangle. I mean, if they're going to find a leaf of from a tree, they're going to find grass. You know, we're kind of looking at long, skinny triangles, but that's not like you should tell them that before they go. Maybe they should come back and tell you that. Anyway, then you can have them count the shapes. Then take away 2 shapes. And then, hey, we throw a little math in this. So then you can have them draw their shape on a big sheet of paper and then take a glue stick, Elmer's glue, mix together flour and water. It's glue. You don't have to go to the store. And then they can glue the shapes that they chose onto that big shape. That's called collage, in case you don't know that. Actually, it's montage with just with flat things, but we'll go with collage. All right, then when they can do that, they not only have a big piece of paper that has a collage on it that will take them a while, but what happens if they walk in from inside, outside collecting shapes, and those shapes are all 3D? Like, oh, somebody found a use for all those toilet paper holders, those toilet paper rolls, and they can make a sculpture out of them. They can make a doll out of it. They can make a car out of it. You just give them some tape, and they can tape all those pieces together. And if that runs into a problem that it's too fat or thick to glue down, I mean, yeah, they may show up with a coaster, but what if they show up with your tape? I mean, you know, maybe give them a way to build a sculpture with it. Then, if you do have older kids, you can ask them, how has architecture been inspired by your shape? You need to go Google, where does the architecture show up that has that triangle? Whether it's in the form of a pyramid, like in the middle of the Louvre, but you don't have to tell them that. Or they can go to the Pentagon, you know, in the State Department. And then why was it created in that shape? And they can actually look at it. They don't have to write it. You don't have to grade it. They can just come back and they can tell you about it. Okay, I've given you a lot. Let's think about tomorrow. Think about its texture. And please, please send me pictures. Post the pictures for me. Send them to me. And I will gladly put them on and say, this is from Shape Day.